Hello, வணக்கம் என் ஊரினும் மேலான இனிய தமிழ் மக்களே. This is your host Venki with another episode of Southern Spice, the only Tamil program on FM and AM radio in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area. 1310 AM, Parsippany, New Jersey, 96.7 FM, Edison, New Jersey, and 540 AM, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and also streaming live on Southern Spice USA Facebook and YouTube channels. Every week, I bring you a couple of interesting editions of Southern Spice. We are in the series of conversations with Gifted Gabber students who are all pretty much overachievers, right? They're all doing something very unique and very significant to the society. In that series today, we're going to be meeting a very, very promising young high schooler, a rising senior from Great Valley High School in Malvern, Pennsylvania. His name is Arpit Ahuja. He's passionate about making STEM education accessible. As VRC team captain and lead programmer, he gained strong skills in C++ and robotics and has applied them in projects ranging from building a college navigation app with AI features to contribute to exoskeleton gait trading research at Penn State. அது என்னன்னு நம்ம அவரையே கேட்கலாம். We'll talk to him about what that is. So he's currently part of Algoverse AI, where he works on improving large language models and runs the hackthecurriculum.com to mentor students in STEM. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let's welcome Arpit Ahuja. Hi.
Hey, hi, hello.
Good to have you. Welcome to Southern Spice.
Yeah, really great to be here.
Say, hey, this is a very impressive bio, okay? And when I was reading it, I didn't understand a couple of words in there. So I do want to get to that, but before that, let's hear your self-introduction. Let's start with, how would you describe yourself so our listeners and viewers get to know you better?
Of course. So, my name's Arpit, and I'm a rising senior at Great Valley High School. And I'm really passionate about just programming in general. And I've applied this in many various aspects, such as from robotics being one of my biggest passions the past 4 years of high school. I've done some internships. I've worked on a couple projects that I will be launching in the future. And in addition to this, just in my free time and just the time that I have, I really think it's important to make STEM education important and accessible to everyone, especially underprivileged students that are in Maryland school districts, Philly school districts, and those that don't have as much access to the vital resources that other richer school districts do. And in my free time, I love to play video games and things like that. Yeah.
Sorry, I was doing something to change the title. So here we go. So you did mention that you're passionate about STEM education and making it more accessible.
Yeah.
Why is that kind of a pressing issue currently? Why is there a greater need for STEM accessibility?
Of course. So as we're heading into the future and as artificial intelligence is becoming more and more advanced, right? STEM and the fields and resources in STEM are just becoming more and more important as time passes. And there are two types of school districts, right? There are those with tons of funding, tons of resources for their students, and there are those that maybe lack some of those educational resources that other school districts do have.
Mhm.
And having that exploratory phase when you're in let's say elementary school or middle school, it is really important to be able to maybe do some coding boot camps, do some physics boot camps, maybe a simple math boot camp, and see what exactly interests you in the field and research of STEM. And that's maybe what you could explore further in high school and maybe focus more on. But students that lack that time and exploratory phase, it's something that's really crucial and something that everyone should have access to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those are some gaps. So and you found those gaps. So what have you done? Have you done anything so far to fix or plug those gaps?
Yes. So alongside a few of my friends from school, we have co-founded a nonprofit called STEMclusivity, and our mission is to provide these educational resources that are found in these gaps within the elementary students and perhaps even middle school students. in Maryland school districts, Philly school districts, and provide them with asynchronous work and synchronous projects. So what I mean by this is we sometimes either record our boot camp sessions with 1 week. We have 2 1 week sessions, right? So during the 1 week that we have for a certain subject, let's say mathematics, we will have two boot camps that are each 1 hour long, and we record our session with basic information just in regarding what the subject really is, things they can do to explore it further, and maybe a simple project to engage them with that. And by doing this 1 week program for about like a month or two, we are able to cover several areas and see which, and our students are able to find out which field they basically piques their interest the most. So that is the primary work I've done with making.
Nice. So you are currently reaching students within your network, your accessible network. Have you collaborated with anyone else to kind of have a greater impact to expand it?
Of course. So we knew that we would need more manpower than just like my
Yeah.
friend circle. So we actually made a couple posts on like on online mediums such as Discord, and we hired a couple interns to help us, and we collaborate with those interns by delegating tasks so that we're able to more efficiently and effectively create the curriculum that we need, and also reach out to other organizations that might need our help, or and maybe we can provide them with assistance in any way.
Okay. So, there was somewhere you mentioned VEX robotics. What is VEX robotics, Arpit?
Yeah. So the category of Vex robotics, Vex V5 robotics that I compete in is called V5RC. And what it is basically a competitive robotics program where there's a company called Vex, and they sell their own parts from motors, pieces of metal, which are called C channels, gears, and many other things that can be used to build a robot. And what we do is there's a specific game challenge every single year, and for this year's game, which is called V5RC Pushback, for example, the goal is to pretty much just intake and store balls inside of your robot, and you score these balls inside goals. So there's goals that are around like 2 feet off the ground. There's some that are lower on the ground. So it's kind of like robot soccer in a way. And the more points you score and the control bonus you gain is pretty much how you win the game. But my primary focus with Vex has been the programming aspect, which is the initial 15-second autonomous and skills, where the robot has to basically do those tasks on its own autonomously through motion control algorithms, localization algorithms, and that's where I use C++ heavily for that.
Well, I mean, a lot of people of your age are still figuring out what their interests are, not even your age, older than you. So how did you even know about Vex robotics, and what drew you to specifically to that?
Yeah. So, I mean, ever since I was a child, like me and my dad sometimes used to sit down and just like fiddle around with computers, and it kind of caught my interest how like hardware and software come together to actually make a machine work. And freshman year of high school, I didn't do robotics that seriously in ninth grade, but I was actually kind of inspired by watching another team's autonomous routine when they scored a lot of this during that year's game. And I was like, hey, if they are able to do this, why can't my team, right? So that kind of inspired me to learn a lot more about it and got me heavily involved. So the next year, made my own private team. After that, yeah, I've been going more towards private teams and being heavily involved with robotics in general.
So, so it's interesting how kind of Vex sparked your passion for programming, but then how did AI come in the way, uh, what role does AI play in this?
Yeah. So my role in Vex was pretty much just programming the autonomous routines, making the robot move on its own,
Hmm.
kind of think on its own, but not really, right? But what I believe, in my opinion, is artificial intelligence is the next step to making those robots and making machines think on their own. So that's basically what I sparked my interest. Like, yeah, I can tell a robot to go to this location precisely and do this task, but what if it's able to think on its own? So that's where I got more into learning about neural networks, doing artificial intelligence research, and making a couple models on my own just to learn more about the field itself. And ever since then, artificial intelligence has become more of my primary focus in the field of computer science.
Okay. So there are different types of students, right? In different stages. Some of them are super interested in technology. Some of them are more creative, artsy. Some of them are right in the middle. They do a little bit of everything. So how how do you find that ability to find the students that that may be interested, and how do you mentor them, how you help them, help make programming and robotics concept easier to grasp for those kind of students who are not like already super attracted to it naturally?
Yeah. So I would say C plus doing robotics and programming robots with C plus plus in general is not as simple as maybe what other students may be familiar with, because C
Mm,
plus plus is more of like a low level system level type of language. But I believe it's still really good to spark interest, spark and inspire younger students by using block code. And I think block code, it may not be as effective as C++ is, but at that age, it's more important to actually be interested in something rather than be successful. So that when you do get to high school, get to that next stage, you know exactly what to spend your time on. So when I go to Great Valley Middle School and just other people on online mediums such as Discord who contact me, I usually guide them, okay, here, just do something simple in block code, see how it actually makes a robot move. Because I believe just writing something on your screen and making it actually have real world impact, like saying, hey, robot, go move over here, and you actually see that happen, it's a kind of like an inspiring moment, I would say, because it makes you kind of think, hey, maybe I can actually make an impact.
mm.
So that's something that I really help students with, where I teach them, okay, here, do something simple in block code, and then maybe later on, if you're more interested, convert this into C++ or Python code and try it out that way as well.
Interesting. So beyond robotics, uh, how else have you applied your programming skills in what other areas?
Of course. So I've applied my programming expertise in a couple internships that I've done. I've been a software developer intern at SlatePath and a software engineering intern at the Parent Institute at University of Virginia. And in addition to this, I've also been working on a few projects. There's a fidget tool that I made for a couple ADHD students after a moment that I had over, I believe, summer of sophomore year, where
Mhm.
I noticed this with like a friend of mine, and just like he was restlessly tapping his leg, and I'm like, okay, maybe I could make something to help him out. Like he can split screen while doing something else, maybe have like a simple like tool on the other hand just to like calm him down a little bit while he's working and be more focused. In addition to this, there's also another project that I'll be talking about later. And yeah, those are the ways that I've applied some of my programming expertise.
That's really cool. Where do I find that digital fidget tool?
Oh, that's on my GitHub. So I haven't launched it publicly on any domain, but you can run it using a local host on your computer and just check that out.
Okay, interesting. I'd love to try that out. All right, so your role in these projects that you just mentioned, where you did intern, right? What was your role, and what did you find most, you know, meaningful out of whatever you did there?
Yeah. So the most meaningful thing that I learned out of just being a lead software engineer at SlatePath and let's say the Parent Institute and the research that I've done at Penn State, the most meaningful thing is the things that I've learned out of it. Because whenever I enter and collaborate with my teammates, like, yeah, I've worked with a lot of some projects in the past and coded on my own, but I've never really had to maybe go on GitHub and collaborate with the team on a platform like that, where everyone's delegated their own small task and everything comes together to make a beautiful finished product. So that was a really cool experience and something meaningful I found, where I found that basically being part of a team and delegating tasks into smaller chunks can be a lot more useful than trying to do it on your own. And that was a really cool learning experience. In addition to this, I picked up on a lot more Python skills, like the Code Emotion library, which I used for my research at Penn State, where there were stroke patients. So I worked with like the clinical trial of stroke patients who were basically unable to walk now. So they needed an exoskeleton to aid them with that. So by using the Code Emotion library and doing my work there, it was really meaningful that I was able to help people in need, and my work actually had a real world impact. So yeah, that collaboration and real world impact is what I found most meaningful.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, and currently you are at Perrin Research Institute. You're interning there.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And what's your role there?
So I am a software engineer slash web developer for the Parent Institute. So I develop some new pages that they ever need. So let's say if they're launching a new subdomain, or maybe there's a new article that they want posted on their website, or maybe there's a subdirectory of the people who are part of the organization and they need like the backend to be changed for that. That's the type of work that we delegate within our team and I handle for the Parent
Okay,
Institute.
that's phenomenal, Arpit. So, looking ahead, what do you foresee as a change that you hope to see in young people getting access to STEM education, and how can our Southern Spice viewers and listeners be kind of part of that change?
For- So I think the change kind of just comes within all of us,
Mhm.
and just being able to teach someone else is does not actually take as much effort as one would imagine, because if you do want to reach out and if you do have the expertise, let's say that you do have a degree in a field such as accounting, you can easily maybe go to your local high school, maybe go to your local middle school, and there's a lot of programs now called lunch and learns. So what these type of programs are, you basically go over there, you explain like the type of work that you have done, the type of degrees that you had to do to get to the field, and that really gets the information and gets the word out to students who may not have as much information regarding this. Or maybe you could even record like an asynchronous lesson, like compare, like people post on Udemy all the time with their own expertise and their own lessons. You could maybe post this online, just hey, and go to your local middle school and say, hey, I have posted these lessons and students who are interested can view this and learn more about it. And that's the ways that viewers of this channel and just people around the world can really make an impact in their community and overall for the world.
That's beautiful. That's phenomenal, Arpit. You're doing a lot of good good work. So, do you have anything upcoming? Any new projects that you'd like to announce?
Yeah, so there is a project that I've been working on with my nonprofit, and this project will be uploaded online around like I think like around November 1st. So that's when I will declare more details about it and just explain how exactly how it works and everything.
Okay. All right. Good. So, if somebody wants to contact you, how do they get a hold of you? How do they reach you?
Right. So the best way to connect with me would be just through like Gmail. So my Gmail is just iamarbithahuja@gmail.com. So I think that should be pretty simple to and easy to remember. But yeah, the best way that I connect with any requests or something, maybe a recommendation that you have for me is going to be email, which I check pretty regularly. So that should be a really good way to connect.
Brilliant. Pleasure having you on this show on Southern Spice, Arpit. Thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. You're doing some phenomenal work. Congratulations on
Thank
that. Keep it going, and good luck with your future, your college, and everything else that you're planning to do. And we'll see you soon one more time on Southern Spice, maybe once you get in college.
you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye. All right, so that was Arpit Ahuja from Malvern, Pennsylvania. I hope you found this conversation engaging and interesting. Do spread the word. I'll see you with another episode of Southern Spice very soon. And take care till then. Bye bye.